Hello everybody, Dylan here for DHT. The year's about to end and I say we need to do one more video to welcome in 2018. So I decided today we are going to be reading a Crappypasta. Today's Crappypasta is going to be Sonic's Pentagram. So Happy New Year's to everyone and let's read this today on DHT. It all began when Michael, a 5-year-old gamer and a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, I guess it's true what they say, autism shows up at early ages. Nah, I'm just fucking with ya. Had been told stories by his parents. Stories about his parents playing Mario on their Nintendo and Pac-Man on their old Atari 2600. See, they had a Nintendo where they could play the definitive version of Pac-Man, but they chose to play it on the 2600 because they're masochists, because that game fucking sucked on the 2600 when they were kids. Michael's parents, although told him many stories, were angry and abusive towards their son. That's kind of dark twist for this fucking shitty story. They would ground him for no reason. Well, I mean, every parent does that. And be emotionally and physically abusive towards him. What? This story? Okay, I'll roll with the punches. Who is a young fat boy. He's a fat boy. Okay, I think they have a reason to abuse him now. Could not bear the pain. The pain of being fat or the pain of being bullied for being fat. Michael's parents always told him they stored their old systems in a box in the attic. That's not a good place to store your systems. They're gonna get fucking mildew. I don't know why you would do that. I doubt they work anymore. One Sunday, Michael's parents were fast asleep with earplugs on and put a sign on their door that said do not disturb. Oh yeah, I'm sure. They're just sleeping. That's why there's a do not disturb. I think you need the earplugs, Michael, because you're about to hear some very unsettling things. Michael loved to play Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, and Sonic Generations on his Xbox 360. Tell me every Sonic game that came out for that console. Please, I really need to hear that. But had a strong curiosity for classic games. Well, there was a Genesis collection on the 360. That's a game he didn't list, so he could play these. Or he could go to the eShop and get them. You could play the classic games without having to steal your parents' old Genesis. That probably doesn't work. Michael was playing Sonic Generations. Yeah, you do realize Sonic Generations had Sonic 1 made into it. He could have played Sonic 1 there. I don't get why you I'll just let the story play out. I know the twist in this story, but this is dumb. Fighting the Egg Dragoon boss. Boss will fight 4 more times before the series ends. While he was doing so, he beat Eggman's machine and decided to turn off the console. Michael, out of boredom and curiosity, was tempted to go into the attic and retrieve the old system for himself. Not asking your parents if you can have their stuff. I think they have a reason to punish you. You're doing things without asking them, especially going into an attic when you're overweight. You could break those stairs and fall down and legitimately hurt yourself. But his parents had told him so many times not to. But he was a sensitive little boy. But Michael, knowing that his parents were fast asleep, decided to attempt to sneak into the attic and retrieve the old Nintendo and Atari his parents used to play. Why would you want to play the Atari? I mean, I guess there is some type of history behind it. And I had an Atari once myself. But there really isn't much on there. And you can get most of the Atari games on eShops now. So there's no point in this. Michael then got up and walked out his door and walked towards the attic stairs. A lot of walking for a fat kid. Once he got into the attic, he felt a slight cold breeze come over him and it reeked of the stench of a dead rodent. Wow, they need to clean their attic if there's a bunch of dead mice up there. Michael looked around to see almost nothing but one box. It appeared to be entirely opened. So descriptive, Michael. He looked into the opening. Michael hoped it would be several game systems, but it only contained one system. It read Sega Genesis. My parents never played the Nintendo or the Atari, he thought to himself. Michael, well, that doesn't mean they didn't play the Nintendo or the Atari. It just means they don't have it anymore. Someone could have stole it. They could have sold it at a yard sale. They could have just forgot that they don't have it anymore. Don't assume they're liars, Michael. Just because they have a Genesis up there doesn't mean they're fucking retarded. He thought to himself. Michael decided to take the system downstairs anyways. Only out of curiosity for the classic games. The games you can play on the system you already have downstairs. But when Michael picked up the system, it didn't feel old. Feel old? What do you mean? What do you mean feel old? Like, the system is polished, yeah, but you didn't say that. You said it didn't feel old. What does one feel old? Consoles don't wrinkle. Consoles will feel the same no matter what. Are you saying it doesn't feel dusty? Is that it? It felt like it had just been recently used. Being young, this didn't put any sort of strange feeling into Michael's head. He noticed it, he wrote it in the story, so it had to put a thought into his head, but not to mention, his thought would be fucking retarded because consoles can't feel old or new, unless it's dust, but you didn't describe that. That there was something under the system. It was an old Sega game that read, Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh boy, an old Sonic game, he thought to himself. Yeah, Michael, fan of Sonic games, didn't realize he could play this same Sonic game on the game he was just playing a second ago in Sonic Generations. Michael decided to take the Sega downstairs and play Sonic, even though he was young. Yeah, I get it, he's young, don't fucking remind me. Michael was able to figure out how to plug in the cords. Everyone have a slow clap for Michael. He's young, autistic, and obviously can't figure out how to plug a console into his fucking TV without telling us. Congrats. He turned on the TV and waited for the Sega to load. How would you know the Sega logo was gonna be there and say Sega? How would you know that? You never played this game before. Upon loading the game, it seemed normal. How would you know what normal is? You never played the game despite it being on the game you were just playing a second ago. Michael plugged in the Sonic game and he just plugged it in. What do you mean? He just turned it on a second. I'm not gonna question it. Not gonna question it. We'll be here all day to wait for the game to load. We just went through this a second ago. I'm so excited, and my meanie parents don't know. I don't think saying my meanie parents he is the way to describe someone that physically abuses you. Maybe you lied to me. Maybe they don't physically abuse you and they just call you fat and dumb. I agree with them, Michael. Michael then saw the game load. It was the Sonic the Hedgehog title screen with Green Hill Zone in the background. As the game loaded, is this Sonic 06? It doesn't need to load this much. It instantly starts up because it's on a cartridge. If this was a disc-based game made in the 2000s, I'd understand this, but this is a 90s game. It's not loading. You're just taking forever to click the button. Michael started off at a stage that said Stage 1, Green Hill Zone. It doesn't say stage, it says Zone 1. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Michael saw a classic pixelated Sonic and proceeded to move him around. As Michael ran into enemies, he lost some rings. Wow, you really suck at this, Michael. I thought you're used to Sonic. But jumped on them to kill them. Wow, you really figured it out, Michael. Everyone have a slow clap for him. He figured out how to play the game after getting hit a couple times. Out of the enemies came no animals, but the enemies just turned into gray and laid on the ground. Oh no, it's Sonic Lost Colors all over again. Sonic Faded Colors all over again. Everyone run. Michael thought that this was to be in the original game, but he never played it before, so he proceeded on. That's legit how the sentence reads. I didn't misread it. It says Michael thought this was to be. What the hell, Michael? You have terrible grammar. Michael then went stage through the Green Hill Zones levels until he got to the Egg Wrecking Ball boss. This guy has terrible fucking grammar. Michael saw that Dr. Robotnik had a sad look on his face. Yeah, I have a sad look on my face too if I was in this story. As if he was about to die. Oh yeah, fucking lovely. I have a sad look on my face. I'm about to die too. I'm about to die reading your story. But Jess ignored this. But he just ignored this. Learn how to write a story, kid. And proceeded on. Michael kept jumping on the green rods and wait, green rods? What green rods? Those aren't rods, those are platforms, you fucking idiots. I'm breaking. This kid is pissing me off. And jumped into the wrecking ball machine several times until it was destroyed, explaining it to us every step of the way. And said that Michael won the fight. It doesn't say Michael, it said Sonic, you retard. Michael then saw Eggman run away crying. He doesn't run away, he flies away, and he does look upset in the original game. And the text box popping up saying, "You devil, you just had to torment me again. I just want to destroy the planet and roboticize all the animals. How dare you?" Fucking, I hate these stories that make you feel bad for playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. Michael didn't ignore this. He started to cry because he's a pussy, but his parents didn't hear him. Yeah, because they're too busy sleeping. Michael closed his eyes and cried for 10 minutes. Are you Tom? You cried for 10 minutes because Eggman called you a devil. I don't care if you're 5, you're a fucking pussy. until he opened his eyes and slowly looked up. He saw something gruesome. He saw that Green Hill Zone was gray. Oh no, it had a gray mist surrounding it. Sonic faded colors. My first Crappypasta reading is catching up to me all over again. How fitting for the end of the year. But the worst new feature was Sonic. He had no eyes, just hollow dark sockets, and he was gray. I didn't even mean for this. I don't read these stories beforehand, so this is a sequel to Sonic Faded Colors, a story that I read first. It's the first episode of Crappypastas. You can watch it if you want to. It's terrible. I wouldn't watch it, but what a fucking way to end this year. Sonic looked dead, and so did the enemies walking around the zone. Well, they're robots, so technically they're not alive. Michael felt uneasy, but he was intrigued and kept playing. He was 5. I doubt he could feel intrigue. Michael proceeded to try to move Sonic, but he just wouldn't move. A text box appeared, said, "Destroy the game, Michael, or he'll come for you too." Oh yeah, this is Sonic Faded Colors. I bet you that creepy smiling kid's gonna be at the door. Michael felt frightened, but kept trying to move Sonic, because, you know, insanity. Definition of insanity. Trying the same thing, expecting different results. Sonic, with tears running down his cheeks and confusion running through his head. Now another text box appeared saying, "Stop trying to save me. He'll come for me. He'll come for me." I thought he was coming for Michael, but he won't be able to come for you. Just destroy the game. Oh yeah, thank you, Sonic. Your selfless sacrifice will always be appreciated, you fictional video game character. Michael then felt this was real. Who's coming? I'm coming, reading this. Asked Michael. Sonic just stood there, smiling at Michael. Then another text box popped up saying, "You're gonna be okay, old buddy, old pal, old friend of mine, old chum, amigo, whatever." Michael then saw something pop up behind Sonic. It was a dark figure with horns and wings and claws. Goodbye. You didn't even fucking say a text box appeared to say goodbye. It just says goodbye. I could roll the fucking credits right now and be done with the story, but we still have a few more paragraphs. Sonic said through the TV speakers, well, I doubt he could say it any other way. The dark figure then stabbed Sonic with its claws and began to absorb him. So it was Imperfect Cell. I knew he was behind this all along. In about 3 minutes, the figure looked like Sonic. Oh yeah, this is the fucking origin to Sonic.exe, isn't it? The true origin. Fuck my theory. This is the real origin. But something was entirely different. Sonic was completely dark with glowing red eyes and sharp razor teeth. Yeah, this is Sonic.exe, everyone. We've all come to it. It started off as being Faded Colors. Now it's Sonic.exe. It always goes back to Sonic.exe. Sharp teeth came from his mouth with a menacing smile. He stared at Michael. Michael started crying because he's a bitch and screaming because Sonic began to speak. He doesn't even care about waking up his parents anymore. Blah, blah, blah. "Hello, you fat little fuck. I just want to eat your soul," said Sonic. Oh my god, why? Why am I reading this? What the fuck? Sonic called him a fat fuck. Is Sonic me? What the hell? "Who are you? What did you do with Sonic?" asked Michael. Sonic stood there for a few seconds smiling with razor sharp teeth. Thank you for reminding me about that. I forgot about him having sharp teeth. And began to speak. "Michael, it was a pleasure to meet you. My name is Satan. Now, just lend yourself over." Lend yourself over. I think it'd be lean yourself over. But I doubt he can lean because of how fat he is. I'm gonna keep making these fat jokes because the story's openly calling him fat. Over so we could work this out. What happened with Sonic, Michael asks, because he's not very bright. At this point, the morbid Green Hill Zone changed into a stage full of volcanoes, lakes of fire, and demons. Sonic smiled as the demon ripped the dead-looking Sonic apart. Oh yeah, wonderful. What a glorious child's game. In the background were voices uttering an unspeakable language. I want to hear that language. If it's unspeakable, how can I hear it? I think you mean illegible, not unspeakable. Michael, at this point, went back up to the desk and got his wooden cross. Oh god, no. No, the Exorcist? No, why? Why am I reading this garbage? bring Sonic back in the name of... But before Michael could proceed, Sonic screaming in a monstrous voice as his cross fell apart in two. Oh yeah, Satan's stronger than God, kids. That's the lesson we learned today. Michael then began to feel threatened and screaming prayers at Sonic, and Sonic screamed, Satan's ex mortis. I hope I didn't just read something that actually offends people. At this point, Sonic screamed, stop, but this was a different voice. Then a gray text box appears saying, destroy the damn console. I told you he'll come for you. Oh yeah, Sonic speaking us beyond the grave to help us fight off the devil. Best story of 2017. Then it began to rain outside. How would he know it's raining if we can't see it? Whatever. Outside of Michael's house, and only Michael's house, and Sonic began to take form of a more sinister creature. Blood ran off his mouth, and he was devouring the corpse of Dr. Robotnik mercilessly. How did he get to Dr. Robotnik's corpse? He ran away. How did this happen? Michael then threw up. Oh yeah, you are Tom. Quit calling yourself Michael. I know you. We know who's under the mask. And got very sick. Sonic just laughed maniacally and proceeded to rip apart the bodies of what seemed to be the bodies of Knuckles and Tails, people that weren't even in this game. Demons went up to them and began devouring their bodies. Michael then picked up the console and threw it on the ground, definitely waking up his parents. The game stopped. Then Michael saw on the TV with a message on it. Thanks for the soul, Michael. You really helped out! Exclamation point. Then the message also had red 5-pointed star facing down on it. And that's the end. I can only assume his parents came in to beat him after that. You know what? This was a great Crappypasta to end the year with. It was absurdly violent. It had stupid and inappropriate context in it. It had poor grammar. It referenced old stories that I've read throughout these 3 years of doing Crappypasta. This story was perfect. I loved it for all the wrong reasons. And I really do hope that I get more crap like this next year. If you have a Crappypasta you want me to read, link it down in the comments section below. And thank you guys for watching this. If you did like this video, hit the like button. If you really like this video, hit the share button. And if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and Happy New Year's to all of you, and goodbye.